launching a tasty pastry. It's a low-carb Pop-Tart. It's got 3 to 4 grams of net carbs, and we love this show. This is our best place to be in LA.
Welcome back to Legendary Foods Muscle in the Morning. I'm Dave Palumbo, and today is Thursday, October 28th, 2021. And let's find out what's going on in the world of bodybuilding and fitness. For those of you who caught our Recap Wednesday show yesterday and thought, well, I might be crazy because I said that Kyron Holden won 2 shows in 2 different states on the same day, well, believe it or not, that's exactly what happened. And as far as I know, it's the first time in the history of the division that we've ever had an athlete win 2 pro shows on the same day. Some of you might remember us doing a story on Ashley Kaltwasser a few months ago because she tried to do the same thing earlier in the season, even though it didn't quite end up working out in the end. But if you're a fan of bodybuilding, you have to love stories like this because, well, they're what this whole thing is all about. Trying to take ourselves to places that we've never been before. And what Kyron did last weekend literally and figuratively put him in uncharted territory. 9 times out of 10, if you ask someone what their plan for the off-season is, and they tell you that the goal is, well, to put on size and add muscle, that's really just code for, I'm planning to lift a lot and eat a lot, and from there we'll see what happens. But in my experience, it's rare that someone goes into the off-season with goals that are both measurable and well-defined, like what we saw a few days ago from Hunter Labrada. According to Hunter, his plan for the offseason is to add 5 to 7 pounds of lean muscle from the waist up, brick out his abs, and then pull these 2 things together with a leaner, drier look the next time he competes. As far as an off-season plan goes for bodybuilding, that's about as measurable and well-defined as it gets. So if you ever wondered how he turned himself into a 4th-ranked athlete in the world in such a short period of time, the man knows how to plan and he knows how to execute. And when you do these 2 things consistently, you'd be amazed at what you can accomplish. After Sean Clarita won the men's open at the Legion Sports Fest last weekend, there was some buzz swirling around for a few days about whether or not we could potentially see, well, Derek Lunsford vacate his new 212 title to make a run at competing in the open as well. And at least for now, the answer to that question appears to be a resounding no. Derek's coach, Hani Rambad, went on the record a few days ago to say that Derek had no intention of leaving the division. And shortly thereafter, Derek actually came out and made his own statement saying that his goal wasn't just to win, the goal is to keep winning, which is something that no one's been able to do since 2018. But if Derek keeps making small improvements and he continues to hone things in as far as his conditioning is concerned, the odds are he becomes the next multi-time champion in the division, and he makes it look pretty easy on paper. I know that it's all way too early to even think about talking about anything related to next year's Olympia, but I heard some commentary from 2-time classic physique Olympian Brian Jones a few days ago that I thought was interesting, so I figured we might as well pass it along. During a Q&A on his Instagram, a fan asked Brian if he thought Chris Bumstead was beatable, and if so, who he thought was the biggest threat. And Brian came out and point blank said that he thought it was Steve. And to me, one of the other interesting things about that comment is that I think Brian speaks the mind of a lot of other top guys in the division. Granted, it's been a rough 2 years for Steve Laureus as far as his placings are concerned, but when he's right, he might be the most genetically gifted athlete in the division. So here's my question to you. Do you agree with Brian Jones? Is Steve Laureus the biggest threat to Chris Bumstead in Classic? Or do you see someone else as a bigger threat? Let me know what you think in the comments below. And that does it for yet another edition of Muscle in the Morning. I'm Dave Palumbo, reminding you to always be true to your passions and make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.